I'm at a real estate project here today, and essentially what I have right here is a tiny house. It's actually built in like the 1950s. It's on a foundation and everything, but it's super small. So let me show you around the house here. It won't take long. I'm not kidding, this is a small house. Okay, so where I was just standing is the kitchen. And something that's making a huge difference in how this house presents is the staging. But the washer and dryer go right there, and the fridge goes right there, right? So this dining table here essentially can't be there once someone's living here. And then right behind me is a little quaint living room, living space. And when I bought the house, there was a standalone heater right here, and there's the gas attachment for it, right? Well, that was taking up some valuable space. So I threw up a split type HVAC unit. So this does heating and cooling. I'm actually pretty impressed with this unit. It's a 12,000 BTU unit, and it can heat this place no problem. So the bedroom right here, this is what I'm saying about the staging. She found a bed that fit just perfect, that we could still get a table into, and so it shows people just how usable the space really is. And then this is kind of a cool thing we did. So this was just a straight wall. Where these doors are, it was walled off. And this space behind it had a roof over it, but it was accessed from the exterior. I believe the door was about like right there. And it was used as like a exterior shed or something. And the square footage in this property is so valuable that I can get, you know, $180 to $210 a square foot, just depending on where it sells. And so adding 55 square feet in there was like a $10,000 addition onto the house. So it was a no-brainer just to open that up. The only thing I wish I would have thought in, you know, forethought was that I would have put the washer and the dryer and moved all of it into that closet. But we did this house so quick that it was done before we could even hardly plan it out. So we threw in a new bathroom. The bathtub is still the same one. We just shined that up, and then the vanity and the toilet are new. And that's the house. Like that's it. One bed, one bath, real quick. But the guy who lived here was a machinist. And actually, that brings me to a good point. The sheds on the back of this property, I measured it out. I was thinking maybe there's just as much shed space as there is living space, but we've got two sheds here that are huge. The guy basically just lived back here. He had these, he had heating and cooling in these sheds. So there's the AC unit, and then he also had a little space here that was plugged in right there, and came up to this thermostat and would turn on and shut off, you know, as it cooled off. And so that's on a foundation. And then he also had this shed back here. Didn't have heating and cooling in it, but it's actually, if you look at this, it's a shipping container. And he wrapped it with siding so that the city wouldn't get after him. And so he has a ton of space back here, but it's a cool little property for the right person. Now, you guys know that I am transparent with you on what these deals look like as far as the numbers go. And so I call that napkin math, right? On the back of a napkin, we're gonna go over on what I bought the deal for, what I hope to sell the deal for, but what I spent on it, and how much money I'm gonna make at the end of the day. I'm also gonna go over how I found it, where I got the money to do it, how long it took us, all the nitty-gritty details. So if you could, like the video, share it if you feel so obliged, subscribe to the channel, because I'm gonna talk about not just real estate investing, but other businesses I'm getting into. Primarily right now, that's the car wash project. this has been going on in the background behind that car wash being remodeled and getting it up and running. And so this property I found from a wholesaler. He brought me the deal at $135,000. He had it under contract at $130,000. So that $5,000 was his finder's fee for finding the property and basically linking the buyer and the seller up, right? And so less than 7 days later, I bought this property from him at that $135,000. I bring my contractor in, he looked at it, he said, no problem, there's nothing major wrong with this, and he knocked it out in less than 2 weeks. It was record time for us, but that was the plan. And then I spent, it's gonna be around about $24,000, shy of $25,000 on all the repairs that we did to this property. You can see what this property looks like from before until now, but it was mostly just cosmetic stuff. Some of the big things were that walk-in closet that I showed you. We had to frame that out, drywall, everything like that. This HVAC unit above me was a few grand, but that was a very nice touch to put on this house, to open it up, make it feel more cozy. And then from there, you know, when I bought this property from my wholesaler friend, I wasn't so confident in what I was gonna be able to sell this property for, or if I was gonna be able to sell the property for what the numbers were telling me, right? Because I was thinking in my head, who's gonna buy a 1-bedroom, 1-bath property? Well, I knew it was gonna be someone similar to who I bought it from, who was a machinist, he was just a bachelor, living here, you know, working on his trailer. He's out in the yard, he's got a huge RV pad. You can park like multiple trailers and vehicles out here. And, but the numbers told me that it was gonna sell for about $210,000 to $220,000 fixed up. I listed at $215,000, we already have multiple offers on the table. So that just goes to show, trust the numbers and take action according to what the numbers tell you. So we gotta make all that work. Some other numbers to take into account though when you're analyzing these deals is the insurance, the staging that I spent money on, which I feel like is a very good investment. I'll make my money back on that. Just because it made the property look a lot more appealing. I'm gonna pay an agent. I think I already said insurance, but I got electric, power bills, all those types of things. Those are miscellaneous costs. And then I've got title costs and closing. At the end of the day though, the net profit's gonna be somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000. It just depends on what offer I take and what their bank basically appraises the property at and stuff like that. Because you can't start counting your money until you've actually closed the transaction. A lot of times I've looked at it and be like, wow, we're gonna do great on this property with that offer. And when it comes down to it, they kind of backpedal a little bit and end up having to lower their price, but they just try to get you under contract, right? It's kind of just how real estate works, but at the end of the day, this is a double hit for us, basically. It's better than a single, but it's not a home run. So it's a deal I would do over and over again. Like I said, I wasn't so confident when getting into it, and so something to learn is just look at the numbers, trust the numbers, take action, and move forward. So if you guys are getting into your own deals and maybe have questions about analyzing them, what it's going to cost you, things like that, I'm actually happy to help. You know, I've got a little bit of free time. I can answer your emails or your questions, comments in the section below. So reach out to me. I appreciate you guys following along, watching these videos, and we'll talk next time.